Campaigns for the 2020 presidential elections in the US are already well underway, and runners are looking to gain political points across many platforms. One of them is student debt, considered a hot topic for Democratic primaries. Candidate Bernie Sanders thinks he has a solution to the problem.
It's simply not acceptable that our younger generation, through no fault of their own, will have a lower standard of living than their parents. This proposal completely eliminates student debt in this country and ends the absurdity of sentencing an entire generation.
As we heard, Sanders is urging to erase all student debt, and he wants Wall Street to foot the bill. Caleb Maupin explains.
Now, Bernie Sanders says it can all be covered by simply taxing stock market transactions. After all, why not have some of the proceeds cover America's bills? As you can imagine, the financial traders are not thrilled.
There's two problems with financial transaction taxes. One of them is they don't raise enough revenue, okay? And number two is that they distort markets. And the stock market is one of the bright spots in our economy.
Let's drop the unnecessary costs of university and college instead of subsidizing past mistakes or failures, and all that will do is encourage all the colleges to go out and charge more money.
Concept is good to deal with those who are overburdened by debt, but it's regressive. He should focus on low-income families and working families, frankly, not the wealthy.
How are you going to do this? $8,000 at a state university for a year, but maybe $60,000 for the prestige private university? That's all forgiven? What about the people who've paid their loans back?
But whether you like Bernie Sanders' solution or not, the problem of student debt is still hanging over our heads. The total amount owed is $1.56 trillion. And we've got over 44.7 million people in the United States getting a bill each month. The average amount owed is roughly $37,172. Now, the prices being charged by universities have continued to go up. In 1997, your average private university in the United States charged roughly $29,500. But by 2018, that number had increased to $46,900. That's a price increase that far outstrips inflation. So tuition goes up, and the government guarantees loans for almost everyone. And colleges make a lot of money. Lenders make a lot of money. And students, well, they get the short end of the stick.
If you're sitting in the state legislature and you're looking for money, the university system is one of your biggest costs. So when you realize, well, we cut them 2% last year, they didn't go out of business, let's cut them another 2%.
The man appointed by the U.S. government to handle this mess couldn't handle it. He walked away. Seth Frotman, who was the student loan ombudsman for the Consumer Protection Bureau, said this in his resignation.
For nearly 7 years, I was proud to be part of an agency that served no party and no administration. Unfortunately, that is no longer the case. At every turn, your political appointees have silenced warnings by those of us tasked with standing up for service members and students.
So we decided to talk to some students here at NYU, an expensive university in New York City, and find out how they feel about their future with student debt hanging over them.
You can't really think about moving on with life and getting on with your job and everything because you have this burden of your debt that's following you. It could reach upward of 6 figures or so, and you're spending many years paying that off, and you really can't start your life.
I have all these bills that I can't pay off because of my college tuition, so it's bad.
I feel like people, especially trying to start a family, I know that's very expensive and costly. They'll have the burden of paying their student loans off and stuff like that. That'll be very detrimental for a lot of people in the future.
Now, the idea that millions of people with tens of thousands of dollars in debt can just move ahead and have normal lives, buying houses and cars and spending at the same rate as their parents isn't physically realistic, is it? Caleb Maupin, RT, New York.